Thousands of government employees are ending this week without a job. We'll break down the potential impact in Colorado. After a long-running dispute, Denver teachers get a raise, just not the one the union says they were promised. Two long-timers at the Denver airport have had a bird's-eye view of Denver history for nearly 30 years.
It's been fun watching it grow.
And it's their special day. And theirs. And theirs.
My good news is that I'm in love with my new wife.
We ask a bunch of newlyweds the second most important question they'll answer all day, tonight on Next.
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Meckles. Not who you expected tonight, huh? Same. Kyle's out today, Marshall's on paternity leave, et cetera, so you get a blind date on Valentine's Day with me. And I feel like I should start this relationship with some honesty. I am not Kyle. I'm not going to pretend to try to be Kyle, but I respect his show and I respect you for being here still. So if you can skip the 5-course meal and the dessert for one day, let me give you some good old meat and potatoes. You're still gonna get a free meal, okay? And we can all breathe easy. Kyle will be back on Monday. All right, let's go. Thousands of workers are out of a job today as the Trump administration continues its efforts to slash the size of the federal government. This includes layoffs from nearly all federal agencies, including infectious disease researchers and Forest Service employees. Yesterday, the White House directed federal agencies to terminate probationary workers. That is mostly people who have been on the job for less than a year or two. How many people? Well, data from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management says this could be upwards of 200,000 employees. As we told you earlier this week, all the downsizing could have major impacts here in Colorado, in Lakewood specifically. The federal center there describes itself as the largest concentration of federal agencies outside of Washington, D.C. The mayor of Lakewood calls that center, quote, critically important to the economy. We do know some probationary employees will be exempt from this week's terminations, like some of the folks in the Department of Veterans Affairs. They have a regional hub headquartered in Glendale. The VA said yesterday that, yes, 1,000 employees would be terminated, but another 42,000 probationary staff are exempt, depending on their job title or if they already took a buyout offer from the Trump administration. CNN reports 3,400 U.S. Forest Service employees are getting cut, including staffers who make up reserve fire crews during peak wildfire season. The agency manages and maintains public forests and grasslands, and it is critical in wildfire protection. It was a win for Denver Public Schools this week. An arbiter ruled in favor of the district in a contract dispute they're having with the teachers union right now. The teachers think the district is withholding money from them that they believe they deserve. Our Spencer Soicher explains why.
DPS, they made this decision to withhold these funds based on a technicality.
Denver public school teachers have been in a nearly year-long fight with the district. It centers around a contract clause.
DPS teachers know that the district's holding back money that they owe the teachers.
The issue is on page 127 of DPS's contract with the Denver Classroom Teachers Association. It has something to do with what's called the BS factor, an accurate description of how the teachers probably feel about this clause. BS factor stands for budget stabilization. It allowed the state to divert money from school districts to fund other things.
The budget stabilization factor, the money that was owed to schools.
Last year, state lawmakers got rid of the BS, paving the way to send more money to schools. DPS teachers say they thought that meant getting a 5.2% cost of living increase. Instead, it's just 2.06.
We felt like it said exactly that. And so we're disappointed that the district is utilizing this technicality.
The district argued the increase in funding from the state wasn't enough for it to fully fund the cost of living increase. An arbitrator sided with DPS this week.
They were hoping the district would do the right thing and go ahead and make the decision to fully fund that.
In an email to school board members, Superintendent Alex Marrero said he was not surprised that the arbitrator sided with the district. He continued saying, quote, "It's not lost on me the damage caused to our workforce by the misinformation shared by DCTA leadership."
When it boils down to it, it's about trust.
The union disagrees.
Teachers put their trust into the administration, and they put their trust into the Board of Education, that if we worked hard, this was the deal, and we would get paid exactly what we asked for.
Even an arbitrator who heard the argument said the financial agreement was, quote, not clear on its face. This isn't done yet, though. The school board will vote now on whether to accept the arbitrator's ruling.
So this was never really about, do they have the money to not have the money?
Right. So
it's just really like a line in this contract that we're trying to clarify.
Right. It's confusing clearly, but
Obviously.
part of the arbitrator's ruling has nothing to do with if the district has the money or not. The teachers union says they do.
But we don't know.
Whether they do, we don't know.
Okay, let's keep asking about that. Spencer, thank you. Hey, we have some good news and some bad news about the weather this weekend. If you're skiing, good news is you've got plenty of fresh powder to shred and the resorts can catch up a little bit after a slow start. Bad news if you haven't left yet. You should expect some closures on I-70 and mountain passes this weekend. We've already seen a short one near the tunnels this afternoon thanks to a bunch of crashes. Things are back open and running tonight, but we'll keep an eye on it. There are several areas that have already seen more than a foot of snow, and more is coming this weekend. These photos came from Dave in Crested Butte. There was already more than 14 inches of snow on the ground this morning. And while this is one of the busiest ski weekends of the whole year, it's also one of the most dangerous. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center says we have extra high AVI danger in the backcountry over the next few days, especially once the skies clear up on Sunday. The center says February is the deadliest month for avalanches in Colorado. All right, Corey Reppenhagen, let's talk about some of this snow. Is it too quick to ask you to do a haiku on the spot?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more than 17 syllables today.
Okay.
But we've got a lot of action. This storm out here in the high country, still another about 24 hours of snow to go. We could still see another foot of snow on top of everything that's fallen up to this point. We're seeing some interesting stuff here in our area tonight as well. We could see a little bit of rain and a sleet mix here in Denver and snow very close by, extending out onto the eastern plains until about 11 o'clock. That'll push out, but our best chance to get some snow here in Denver will be tomorrow night, where we could see 0 to 2 inches of snow. We'll get about 4 to 5 hours of light snow tomorrow night at about this time tomorrow. So when you look at your 7-day forecast here, we are watching for some potential impact from that about an inch of snow tomorrow night. We're cold and breezy on Sunday, and then another Arctic cold front moves in here on Monday night. A little bit of snow potential, but look at these temperatures. We're in the teens for highs again, and Jenny, down to -4 degrees by Wednesday morning.
Okay, Corey, thank you. Colorado lawmakers started their Valentine's Day in the least romantic way possible, working overnight, debating a controversial gun bill. By the time they wrapped up around 2 a.m. this morning, a ban on the manufacture and sale of some semi-automatic firearms looked drastically different. Some state Democrats wanted to ban the manufacture and sale of guns that can accept detachable magazines. That would include most semi-automatic rifles and shotguns, as well as a smaller number of gas-operated semi-automatic pistols. But the bill's sponsors had to make some major changes to get it through a Senate vote last night, including an amendment allowing people to purchase those guns if they're vetted by a sheriff and if they pass a series of firearm and hunter education courses. Those concessions were necessary to win over moderate Democrats and Governor Jared Polis. But opponents of the bill argue the new training requirements are still too restrictive for people who want to buy guns, and it could cost the state millions in tax revenue.
I think there will be significant friction. People that would have bought a firearm, may not buy the firearm now. I would have bought it because I had a constitutional right to it, but now that I've got to do these 12 hours of training to do something I already know, I'm not going to spend the time, not going to spend the money. I'll buy the gun somewhere else.
This bill still faces an uphill battle, has to get through another Senate vote and then to the full House. And for the past several years, bills limiting the sale of semi-automatic firearms have failed to make it out of both chambers. After a dizzying series of court orders, Colorado Springs voters will not be voting in April now on whether to repeal a new law legalizing recreational pot sales in that city. Back in November, voters approved a ballot question that would allow existing medical marijuana retailers to apply for recreational licenses as well. But then last month, Colorado Springs City Council claimed voters in November were confused. And the council said, hey, let's have another vote just to be sure. So they voted to put another question to voters in April, asking them to repeal the newly legal pot sales. Stay with me here, it gets muddier. On Monday, an El Paso County judge sided with voters suing the city, blocking the repeal effort from being on that ballot. The next day, that same judge paused that decision because Colorado Springs was appealing to the state Supreme Court. Yesterday, the Colorado Supreme Court declined to take the case. So in the end, the city says this question will not be on the ballot, and the first legal recreational pot sales in the city, Colorado Springs, are expected to start in April. I'm dizzy. Now, we want to say a quick thank you to all that you have done this week to support a nonprofit spending years training service dogs and then partnering them with Coloradans in need. Here's Kyle with an update on this week's Word of Thanks micro-giving campaign.
It costs about $25,000 to train a service dog to help a Coloradan lead a safer, more independent life. There's a nonprofit in town that spends years training those dogs from puppies on up, then gives them to people for free. This week's Word of Thanks micro-giving campaign supports Canine Partners of the Rockies. That nonprofit based in Aurora spends about 2 years training each dog they place. As the dogs grow up, they visit schools, hospitals, they visit veterans groups and counseling centers. It's therapy for the people, it's socialization and training for the dog, and it helps Canine Partners of the Rockies determine which dogs will be a right fit for which placement. Many will go to individuals with mobility disabilities, but others will work with a variety of people at a facility, like a school or a hospital. The nonprofit only places dogs in Colorado because they want to be there for the long term, for the decade or so that this dog is going to be working alongside their human, to follow up if there are any concerns or issues, to provide guidance and additional training. Listen, we know that service dogs change lives. This is our chance to help get more service dogs to more Coloradans. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491 to get that link to donate. 4,000 of you have signed up to simplify your giving by making a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund. You put in your info once, we split your donation up every month. It means that we've started recent weekly micro-giving campaigns with more than $30,000 for each nonprofit. That is huge. You can use that same QR code or text to get there.
The Denver airport's getting close to its 30th anniversary, and so are the airport's most faithful employees.
So I started in the communications center, and this was in October of 1995.
Some DIA OGs look back on 3 decades of growth. And we end the week the way we always do, with your good news. That's next. It's as funny to me as it is to you. What makes birthdays special are the people you celebrate with. Now that Denver International Airport is turning 30 this month, we wanted to find the people who have been there for every milestone. Here's Mark Salinger.
After 30 years of working at an airport,
Photo opportunities.
it takes more than cameras and planes to face Cindy Wold. She spent more than half her life driving every road and runway at Denver International Airport.
I do love my job. Every day is different, which is good.
3 decades after the first plane taxied on these tarmacs,
Traffic jam with aircraft.
she's one of the few that's been here the whole time.
1995, we had dot matrix printers. We changed VCR tapes, reel-to-reel recordings.
It's a different world now, working in airport operations.
You know, we all have an iPad. I have a radar screen where I can see the airplanes and where they are and what they're doing.
Few people have had a better view of the 30-year history here than Cindy.
So this is from June of 1997.
An international summit tops the memories in her scrapbook.
A few newspaper articles. Air Force One, the leaders of Germany, Japan, France.
Some of my girlfriends. This says October 2004.
Natalie Ordakowski
We transitioned from purple to blue.
has her own collection.
September 25th, 1995, and we did the inaugural from Denver to Phoenix.
What Cindy has seen from the ground, Natalie has experienced in the clouds.
Memories of all my years here at Frontier.
As a flight attendant based in Denver for Frontier Airlines.
When I was little, I asked my parents, you know, what can I be when I grow up? And they said the sky was the limit. And I took them literally on that. So here I am.
Here she is, at the exact same gate she flew out of 30 years ago.
And on the ACON course, and this is one of the gates that I did an inaugural flight out of.
A30 is the same, but so much around it has changed.
Growth, more gate expansion, more restaurants, more runways, more gates. it's been fun watching it grow.
It's clear this type of growth would never be possible without people like Cindy and Natalie.
And people ask me when I'm going to retire all the time. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I still feel like I have a lot left in me.
The airport can take you all over the world, so it's, you know, it's a cool place to work.
Their love for flying, for this airport, continues.
Who doesn't want to have a job where you drive around airplanes?
Because for them, even after 30 years working at an airport, this will always be exciting. For next.
No, I don't know how that could get old, right?
I'm Mark Salinger.
DIA was built with the intention of serving 50 million passengers a year. The airport's expecting that sometime in the next 10 years, they'll more than double that number. Right now, they're in the middle of large expansion projects with even more construction expected over the next couple of years.
I have lots of good news. We could go on for hours.
Well, let's hear it. What else do you got?
Standing next to this man is good news.
Marriage is a marathon, not a sprint. At today's Valentine's Day Marriage Marathon, the brides and the grooms answer our favorite Friday question: what's your good news? And a reminder, you can also watch Next streaming every night at 6 p.m. on 9 News Plus. Next is also now a podcast every weeknight. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. For the past 420 Fridays, Next has ended with sharing your good news. But it's my first time. So we went big, like dozens of weddings on one day big.
This day is such a delight because it's not often when we work in government that we're surrounded by happiness for hours at a time.
My good news is that my mom and my family makes me happy.
My good news is we just got married.
Yeah, we did.
This man is good news.
Oh my gosh, I think my only good news is that I'm getting married, so I'm really happy.
My good news is that my aunt and my uncle are getting married, and I'm happy about that, and that it's Valentine's Day.
My good news is that my birthday is next week.
Do you have any other good news?
My brother and his girlfriend just got married.
Your touch, your kiss, this is a dream coming true.
My good news is that I'm in love with my new wife.
Crazy about you.
That's so sweet. Happy Valentine's Day. Hey, we're back with your feedback. Thank you, Amanda. Check out these cute pants she has on. Back with your feedback next. The most Colorado thing we saw today, a celebration of love in Colorado's Sweetheart City.
I had 6 Japan yesterday.
Well, I've seen some from Singapore.
I had Germany. I got a Netherlands.
My most unusual one was Telephone, Texas.
Valentine's Day is Loveland's time to shine. People every year from all 50 states, more than 100 countries, send their mail for a pit stop in Loveland. They get one of the city's annual Valentine's Day stamps. How sweet is that? Chamber of Commerce guesses that the city processes more than 100,000 Valentines every year. And those are volunteers who help make that happen. Hey, there's only a little bit of feedback tonight, but all of you are being so sweet and welcoming me to the show. I'm just here helping out. I'm not sticking around. One person called me an after-dinner espresso martini, not meat and potatoes.